So, Rupert, I'm fairly new to your videos and your teaching, but I have been a long time meditator. Too long, it seems. Too many decades already. But I feel like I should be further down the path than I am already. But at the same time, I'm not complaining. But my question is about my experience of pure awareness or being. I find that when I meditate, and the same experience happens when I do your guided meditation, but I find that in that process, I get very close to pure being, like almost 90% there. And my thoughts have become very, almost not quite mature thoughts. It's as if thoughts are starting but not finishing, and some very pleasant sensations. But I've got to let go to actually tip into 100% pure being, and my breathing stops.
Peter, when you say, I get very close to pure being, we have these two elements. We have pure being, and we have I, who is very close. Tell us about the I, who is very close to pure being.
It's actually not. It's actually my thoughts.
Okay, well, your thoughts are obviously not the I. So the thoughts are obviously not the I that is close to being. So rules thoughts out. Now go back to the I. Tell us about the I, which is obviously not your thoughts. What is the I that is close to pure being?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's
but
I can't describe that I.
No, when you say I can't describe it, you suggest that it is there, but that you can't describe it. I want you to go further than that. I want you to, if you think it's there, say something that is true about it. It's not enough just to say, I can't describe it. To say something true about the I that is close to pure being.
It's a feeling of nothing, to be honest. It's almost like all sensation and thought disappears. But it's just, I feel like a very faint experience of sensation and thought is hanging on.
Okay, so but we've already agreed that the sensation and the thought is not the I that is close to being.
Yes, yes.
So what you're, and then you said it's nothing. So what you're doing really is you're presuming the existence of this I that is close to being. You've already discounted it's not thoughts and feelings, but you still insist on the presence of this I that is close to being. But because you can't find it, you superimpose the idea of nothing on it. So you say this nothing, this I, which is really nothing, is close to being.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense now that you've put it that way.
Well, yes, exactly. It doesn't make sense. You're almost there. You just can't quite believe that I is being. You're hanging on to an old belief that I is close to being. And because you can't find it, you're saying it's nothing, which, as you rightly say, doesn't make sense. But so this idea that the I, which is close to being, is nothing is just your last gasp attempt to hang on to the I, which is close to being. No, I is being. When you say I am, can you say from your experience, I am? Is it true of you? Yes. Yes. So there, I am. That's like saying I is being. That's what I am means. I is being. That I is the name that being gives to itself. In other words, you can't approach being. You can't be close to being. You can't be far from being. You are being. Just do you not have this now? Do you not have the feeling of being, the feeling I am?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Or are you close to the feeling of being, or are you the feeling of being? The feeling of being is not close to you; it is you. The feeling of being is your core sense of yourself, just being myself. Even before you know that I am Peter, or I'm in Western Australia, or I'm attending a webinar, or I'm sitting on a chair, before you know any of those experiences, you know I am. I am is your primary experience. When a newborn infant is born, they have no idea that they are a newborn infant. They have no idea that they have been born. They have no idea that they have a body or that they are a body. They have no idea that they are in the world, but they have the experience of being, not being a person, not being an infant, not being a boy or a girl, not being anything. They just have the raw experience of being. Everything else that happens to them in their life will be added to that raw experience of simply being. And as experience gets added on to the experience of simply being will be submerged under experience and will seem to disappear. They will lose contact with being, and then they go out into the world in search of it. But simply being is our primary experience. It is our self. You can't get close to it. You can never leave it. You have never for a moment been anything else. You could never for a moment be anything else. Just see that what you essentially are is this pure being before it is colored by experience. You can't get close to it. You can't develop it. You can't progress it. You can't meditate and find it. It's just what you are. And I'm not talking about a special mystical being that Ramana Maharshi and Lao Tzu and Rumi had access to, but none of us have access to. I'm just talking about the ordinary, regular. If you went out onto the streets of Western Australia now, just pick the first random person and ask them, do you have the experience of being yourself, being myself? They'd pause and go, yeah, sure. That's it. In that moment, they take their attention away from the content of their experience and their attention comes back to themselves. And in that moment, they taste their being, the fact of simply being. That's it. All that's necessary is to see that clearly as it is before it is colored by the content of experience. That's it.
So I've been overcomplicating it and having an expectation that I've got to go somewhere.
Well, it's true.
Whereas
You have
I'm there
been,
already.
but yeah, it's true. But all those years of practice were not wasted because they brought you to this understanding. But now that you've come to this understanding, don't go on practicing. It's like when you take a long journey to the Caribbean beach, you eventually arrive there in the bus. Don't stay on the bus. You want to be on the beach. The bus was just meant to get you there. So all these years of practice, they weren't wasted. They've got you to this understanding. But get off the bus. Stay on the beach. The beach is just being.
I think it's been more like I've been on a bicycle, Rupert.
Yeah. Okay.
Uphill.
Yeah. Uphill on, well, perfect. Just get off the bike.